Hi everybody, welcome. Put these on. I've got you in my headphones today, so I hope you can hear everything. We're going to do a sound check real quick. I have William, my co-host, who is helping manage the comment section and keep everybody engaged. We're kind of just waiting for people to filter in. It's a little after 10, had some, all the little technical difficulties with going live this way. So it took us a couple minutes to get started. We're going to see if he can hear me. Is it even on?
I'm searching.
Okay. Apparently, going to the event link, it didn't show up. But it is showing up. Was it in your notifications?
I haven't been able to get back there yet.
Okay. We're finding it. Again, I have no idea how any of this works. But we're going to have a really fun time talking about this awesome book. And for anybody who misses it in the live, you'll be able to see it on Plant People Heal on the D.L. Nelson page, and I'll share it to my personal page just so that it reaches as many of our Facebook people as possible. All right, we have William connected, so let's go ahead and get started. Plantain and the Snake. And we have an echo in here. I don't know if these are picking it up at all. Plantain and the Snake is a children's book designed for ages 4 to 10. Younger readers will need parents to read it to them. Older readers can read it for themselves. There are a few big words in here, like, let's see. There's a few big words, but nothing too extreme, If you're interested in learning about plants or teaching your children about the magic and wonder of the plant kingdom and medicinal herbs, that's what this series is designed for. There's a story in the beginning that is this wonderful adventure between these 3 siblings that have very unique special gifts. Not so unique in the world today because autism, OCD, and ADHD are on the rise. They're adopted siblings. So that's a dynamic between them that, again, is really relevant to our world right now. We need to support this demographic, of kids and let them know that this is a really normal part of life, that what you're experiencing is valid and important, and sometimes the trauma that can come from that can develop certain what we would call the stigmas, in life that make things challenging. Ethan, he has OCD, and it's very hard for him to trust people because he's been in several families before. And so there's a hint of that at the back of the story, that he is learning to trust his new siblings. Aria, she has autism, so she's kind of like had her head in the clouds all the time. She's very sensory. She feels everything first, and sometimes it can be really overwhelming. But that is exactly what makes her the perfect person to be able to hear the forest spirit, and it's telling her about the plantain, and she gets this pull, in her chest, just like feeling her way into the experience rather than analyzing everything. Ethan's very analytical. You'll find that out. And Jax has ADHD. And so he's just like a bubbling energy all the time. Got to go in, rush in. Everything's so exciting. And let's do it now. Why are we waiting? And of course, that makes it a little hard for his siblings sometimes because they're like, hey man, slow down a little. It's okay. So those are our 3 kids, and I'm going to read you in the beginning of every book. So here we are, Plantain and the Snake. Let's dive in. Thank you for coming and watching this video. Thank you for showing interest in this book. I cannot wait to share it with you. So we have this lovely cover art here, and then inside you've got another introductory with the snake and the title and the plantain, the beautiful plantain shining in the front. Got this is just our copyright page. There is a special permission use for teachers, educators, and parents, And we will get to that in the back, why that's important, because in the very back of the book, there's some fun things that you can take away from this. There's a QR code here, and we'll talk about that more as we get to the back of the book, because that will link to some really great things. Our dedication in front says, "To you, the reader, whoever and wherever you are, to the future generations of earth-tending stewards, the ones who will listen, who will remember, and who will heal what has been wounded, and to the children not yet here, may we clear the path for your return, planting trees today so that you may one day rest in their shade, breathe deeply, and know that you are home. With love, D.L. Nelson." So that's my dedication to everyone who gets this book, because I believe that educating our children at an early age to love and honor and cherish our earth and learn how to care for it and one another is so valuable and lacking in our world. These are our 3 adventurers. So we have Jax, and he's a little shorter in this image. We have Ethan, and we have Aria. Meet the adventurers. Aria, being on the autistic spectrum, has a deep sensitivity and intuitive connection that allows her to feel things others miss. She picks up on the subtle cues from plants, animals, and people, which is like having a superpower, even at the age of 9. Her heightened awareness makes her the group's compass, though she struggles with being accepted and often prefers figuring things out alone. Jax is full of energy and always eager to explore, though his impulsiveness can sometimes get him into trouble. Those around him often misunderstand his ADHD, but he soon discovers that this is his superpower. At age 10, he is the oldest sibling. His adventurous spirit is driven by a desire to prove himself, often leading him to act first and think later, even when he feels insecure. Ethan's attention to detail and problem-solving abilities keep the group grounded, even at the young age of 8. His need for control and fear of surprises can make him resistant to change, but his organizational skills and logical thinking are crucial to planning their next steps. His OCD can make adventuring challenging, but as his superpower, it helps him point out details often missed by his siblings. It's hard for him to trust himself and others sometimes too. These 3 adopted siblings have unique gifts that allow them to see the world in ways no one else can. Guided by a forest spirit on their camping adventures, they uncover the magic of plants and nature, learning life lessons. In the ordinary world, their differences may go unappreciated, but in the magical realm they discover, those very gifts become their superpowers, strengthening them, shaping them, and uniting them as an unstoppable team. So those are our kids. Those are our 3 wonderful kids in this story. And our magic plant in this book is Plantain, and our forest spirit is snake. So in every book, it'll feature one plant, and the forest spirit is going to change. So they will all be unique and wonderful, and the art in here is just gorgeous. All of the words are on one page, and the art is on the other. So you have the text on odd pages, images on even pages. And I did this because, having ADHD myself and dyslexia, when I read, I want it all to be lined up real nice. Sometimes when there's words on both sides and you have that jaggedy edge here, my eyes will shift back and forth between the pages. It's very distracting. So I'll often put like a card or something to block that. So in this, for anyone else who has that problem, I made sure that all your text is lined up really nice on this clean edge. And you have a gorgeous image here, and you can read it all really easily. Sometimes kids have a hard time with reading, so I made it very linear, very structured, very simple. The font is larger than normal books, so it's a lot easier to read with for younger children. Here they are. The images are consistent throughout. Your hair color changes slightly, but that's not a big deal. And there's our our forest spirit, our beautiful snake with these magical eyes that lead children on this incredible adventure, learning about themselves and the world around them. The forest spirit speaks in rhymes. So I'm going to read this clip to you. As they stood to return to camp, the voice of the forest spirit whispered once more, clear and strong in the stillness of the woods, honor the green, cherish the leaf, and it shall guide you through joy and grief. The plant kingdom holds what you seek, healing, learning, and secrets unique. And with that, the children knew their adventure was only just beginning. So the other really fun thing about this is it does have chapters, but they are not laid out in traditional chapter format. It doesn't say chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. It just has a title at the header of the page. So you'll know when you've come to a conclusion point in the story where you can take breaks. And they're only about 3 or 4 pages long, maybe 5, some of them. So let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if you're reading to very young children, this way you can break it up into the sections. And there'll be 6 sections in this book that are chaptered out. You've got your first 5 chapters and then a little epilogue, and that's only a page or 2 long, that talks about kind of what happens after they come back from this camping trip. That way, young children who don't have the kind of attention span that older kids do, it can be taken in steps. It can be taken in small pieces, and the concepts don't get too big for them. 3, 4, 5-year-olds, they want a little story, they want a little interesting, read to me, Mom, read to me, but I can't sit there for an hour. I read this to my mother the other day, Victoria, and it did take about an hour to read, so that way you'll know, maybe read 2 parts, maybe read 3 parts, read half the book at a time, and then you can have 2 sittings, you know what I mean? It's made to be read to your children. It's made to be interactive so that it gets parents and kids together, learning these things together, talking about the different concepts in the book, talking about the children and their unique gifts and abilities and what makes them special. After your story, let's get back to this. So, at the very end, we have the forest's promise. That's kind of our epilogue. It is very hard to do this. Get some jazz hands going here. So we do have like a couple parts where there's 2 full pages of artwork. That way it gives your mind a break. Children can just focus on these beautiful places. I think imagination is really vital to developing creativity, intuition, letting your mind wander. This is truer to what Camp Verde looks like. So our book, Plantain and the Snake, takes place in Arizona at Camp Verde. And in a few of these, there is plantain right at the water's edge. There are 4 true-to-life watercolor images of Camp Verde. That way, kids get a little more of a good representation of where this is actually taking place. Like we've got our gorgeous, and I turned right to the second one. So plantain looks very much like this. It has broad leaves, red, they're dark, and they love to grow near the water's edge. But let me find, like these are our watercolor fantasy images of forest and the children at the campfire. And then we cut to these 4 really crisp images of a truer representation of the place that this book takes place at. So every book will have that in it. A true-to-life image showing kids this is the environment that this plant loves to grow in and thrive. At the very back of the book, we've got this little fact sheet here. And there's our friendly snake. In this book, our snake is our friend. This is our forest spirit who's leading the children on their adventures. So you're going to have all these cool little facts, and they're in little block form, so kids can break down the information, and it makes it easier to read. We have identification features, what the leaves look like. You've got like narrowleaf plantain has these long, skinny pods, and broadleaf plantain has shorter seed pods with more flower. You can see how they stick out a little farther here. These are tighter to the stem. So I tried to make it as true as possible, but in these cartoonized versions that are more appealing to children. Our next pages are 2 full sheets of activities. So this page is about making a plantain poultice, of course, with parental help. Down here in the bottom, it has a pro tip for children about always ask an adult to help you with plant identification, and remember never to eat any plants without permission. Some plants can be dangerous, so be careful. We want children to know that it's important to learn about plants, but they need to be careful because not all plants are safe. Just like not all people are safe, not all animals are safe. We have to use caution. So there are cautionary little reminders in here, as well as beautiful images and activities that you can do with your children. This one you can take internally. So we have a tea recipe. And here it says, "See you in the next adventure, young stewards." All of these activity pages have a QR code and a link to the website right at the bottom. This QR code will take you to a page on our site that is going to feature all of these books. Partway down, there'll be a section for your freebies. I'm going to develop, and I have not yet, so don't go there just yet. There will be free coloring pages. There will be more plant identification pages, like this one, with different facts that you can print out for absolutely free. There'll be a section, and you'll see it. It'll have buttons, and I'm not quite sure exactly what's going to go in there yet, but I know it's going to be really engaging. It's going to be fun for your kids, whether you're a nanny like I was. I would have loved these kind of resources when I was a nanny. If you're a teacher, an educator, or if you're just a family, homeschoolers, this will be great for, because all of these activities are meant to get your kid excited about learning. Get your child interested in plants, interested in activities. When you can make a poultice and actually put it on your body, you get to feel what that plant's doing right away. You get to be engaged in the preparation of all of it. And that's what makes it fun. Being the tactile part of it. Kids need tactile learning. So we move on to our next section, and there's a note here to parents and educators. So this is Aria's little special message to everybody, and I'll read that to you now. The coloring pages that follow can be copied and colored again and again. Studies show that engaging in creative activities like coloring helps children develop fine motor skills, improve hand-eye coordination, and enhance concentration. It also supports emotional expression, allowing kids to process feelings and ideas in a safe and imaginative way. Beyond their developmental benefits, they can also serve as educational tools for learning about nature, the environment, and the magic of plants, which makes coloring an engaging way to reinforce the lessons from the story. As parents and educators, you can use these pages to spark meaningful conversations about the natural world and encourage questions. Use these moments to share the beauty of nature with your child and foster a deeper connection to the environment. Coloring together also strengthens relationships, fosters valuable bonding time, and provides a much-needed break from screens, which I cannot emphasize enough. These simple moments of shared creativity can become cherished memories that will last a lifetime. So this is an 8.5 by 8.5. So it will fit on a page. These coloring sheets, they won't be a full page, which if you are creative, if you are a creative teacher like I was, I would have taken something like this, and that's why another reason I have the PDF that I'm offering, and I will talk about that in a moment. But as far as copying, you can copy this down, copy it to the top of the page. That leaves room at the bottom. So you're going to have a blank part of this because it's a very small image and it won't take up your entire 8x11 sheet. That gives them an extra white space. They could write something, they could draw something, you know, it's going to give them more room for those creative juices to flow. They don't only get this coloring page, they have this free zone that they can add their own creative expression to. I could have made this book an 8.5 by 11. That would have been very simple. This was extremely hard to format, and it is an uncommon size. I did that on purpose. I want kids to be able to enjoy these coloring pages and then have that space, that extra little bit, to add their own in imaginative play. We need our brains to go to creative places. So these are kind of just prompts, you know, as you're coloring all of that in, all these ideas and wonderful things are going to keep coming to mind. So play with your children. Use this book as a way to open up their creativity and their imagination. On the back of every page, which is optional, you don't have to copy this with the page, but for educators, I recommend you do. So either you can do it one side so that it shows up as a single side sheet, or you can have this as 2 pages on the back. This is a short description of what's in the coloring page. So for this one, you have this little boy in the forest here with his book, or girl with short hair. And it says, description, a child is looking up a plant in an herbal identification guide. And it goes on to tell you, discovering the magic of plants. Learning about plants is like unlocking a secret language of nature. Herbalism is the practice of studying and using plants for wellness, just like people have done for thousands of years. By identifying plants, we learn which ones can help us grow and how to protect them for the future. How to start. Use a field guide or plant app. I don't recommend the plant app, but some of them are very good, to learn about local plants. Observe their leaves, flowers, and where they grow. Never pick or taste a plant unless you're 100% sure it's safe. By understanding nature, we can help preserve valuable plant knowledge for generations to come. Happy exploring! What plants do you want to learn more about and why? So on the back of every coloring sheet, and this is why I made them small and why I left room for more creativity, because there's a question at the bottom. What plants do you want to learn about and why? Maybe they can write that in their blank space. Also, again, every one of these coloring pages has its own QR code so that all educators across the board, wherever they're using this, I'd love to see this in schools, homeschool resources, you're going to have access to this, even if this was printed out and then given to your child. So let's say an educator does get a hold of this, they print it out, your child gets it, they bring it home. Now parents have access to this resource, even if they didn't get the book. I'm offering that part as a freebie because I want this accessible to everybody. This is our snake, our beautiful snake. And so, of course, what are we going to talk about on the back of our coloring page of a snake? Which snakes are venomous and which snakes are non-venomous. So these are educational tools. You get this amazing piece to color, and then on the back of every page, it talks about why it's important. About trees, we're going to learn how they communicate. Trees have a whole underground network of communication, so this introduces them to that. Here, you have 3 children standing on this beautiful rock bridge, looking out at nature. On the back of that, we talk about natural bridges, how they're formed, why that's important. What kinds of things have you seen in nature? So we're asking kids to get involved. You know, this isn't just a book. It's not just a story. It's an engagement tool so that your children can learn and discover and imagine the way that they do best in the most tactile form and in the most multi-purpose way. So you get the story, you get the activities, you get these descriptions and the continuing content about learning about the trees and the canopy and the forest, learning about plant identification. This one's all about journaling. How to teach kids to start a plant journal. It's kind of fun, huh? You know? So the coloring pages are actually activities in themselves that can be used. This one, you see we have this big, beautiful old growth tree. We've got all these herbs at the bottom. There's grass between all of this. And then you have all these little baby trees. So, what is this one going to say? Ooh, this talks about all of the layers of the forest. We have our emergent layer, our canopy, the understory, and the forest floor. So all of these are going to teach your children about all the different parts of the forest, the animals, the ways that they can get engaged and help, learning about herbalism. So this is their introduction. You know, I wanted it to be as jam-packed as possible. Every book is going to have this format in it. At the very back, a little bit about myself, a little Easter egg here. See if you can find that picture in the book. It is.
Do a close-up.
There's one photo in this book that features our children with this backdrop. Every book will have that as well. A personalized photo of me in the story with my characters. We have our website and more offerings because we do offer a wide range of coloring books. Some that would be appropriate for children, like the butterflies, the monsters. There's a few that are slightly less detailed. They are geared more towards adults because we want resources for every age. And that's just a really incredible offering that we have that I thought would be appropriate for this book. So now let's talk about the free PDF. I posted this 2 weeks ago, and I've given everybody the opportunity to fill out the form and get your free PDF. I will be giving them away tomorrow in the emails. I'll be sending them all out. I've only had 2 people take that offer. It will be good all the way until tomorrow at 9 a.m. So this extended offer from this live, you can find that form on Plant People Heal, on the D.L. Nelson page, from this event link itself, and on my personal wall. There's a small form for Google Docs. It will be collecting emails, and it's basically just asking you, would you like a free copy of this, a PDF version, and in exchange for a review on Amazon. And so by getting this free PDF, you're agreeing to leave a review about what you think about this book so that more people on Amazon can find it. That's how these books on these platforms reach people, is by word of mouth. And I'm giving this to you free in exchange for your honest opinion about what you think about this book. So I think that's a really great deal. When you go to Amazon, you'll discover that it is $19.95 there. And that's because it's really high quality. This was not cheap to print. That surprised me a little. I was hoping that it would be a little bit less. However, that's what we get. This is a $20 children's book because you're getting so much more than just a story. You're getting an invitation to explore the plant kingdom in a fun, imaginative, creative way with activities in the back attached to so many freebies that will be on our website. And soon, I say soon, give me a week. I've been very busy. So on the website, we have a pre-order section where you can also find the form too. I have that link in several places that takes you directly to the landing page for Plantain and the Snake. There's a spot where you can get the free PDF. and then at the bottom of the page, you can pre-order. When you pre-order this book from our website, you're only going to pay $13. That offer ends at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. So another change that I've made is the shipping on the website. I was using flat rate express packaging because that was the simplest shipping method at the time. However, USPS continues to raise its prices, and I'm not okay with that anymore. $11 for a flat rate bubble wrap is too expensive. So instead of getting your 2-3 day express shipping, we're going to go with standard methods, and I've dropped all of the shipping prices. So everything on the website will cost much less to ship from this day forward. So that is in celebration of this, and all your pre-orders, again, remember, this is a $20 book on Amazon. Through the website until tomorrow at 9 a.m., you can buy this book for $13. Yes, you will still pay the shipping fee. The flat rate shipping fee on the website is $6 because I still have to ship it to you. When I do, it will be padded in cardboard, coming all the way to the edges. It will be in a bubble wrap, and it will be wrapped in this wonderful packing paper, because even this copy from Amazon arrived to me damaged. Somehow they managed to smash my book right in the center, and so it goes all the way through from front to back, and it doesn't sit very nicely, as you can see. I do not want your books to come to you damaged. They will be handled with care. They will be shipped very carefully, very tight. What's the word? They will be, I'm losing my words. You know what I mean. Cardboard, wrapping paper, packing paper. And that way they can't bend this. We do not want them to bend this in the mail. All books that you get shipped from me, they will never be allowed to be bent in the mail, because I will guarantee that this is a solid item with cardboard on both sides. That is my biggest complaint about Amazon shipping. So you can guarantee that when you order things from our website, they will be handled with care, and they will come to you undamaged and in pristine condition. So that is really like the last I have to say about Plantain and the Snake. In closing, I want to let you know this is going to be a 50-book series. We're going to cover every single state in the United States. Our 3 adventuring children are going to be involved in every single book. They will progress throughout the stories. So right now, this is their introduction into herbs. As the stories move forward, they're going to be learning more about them. So their personalities are going to grow and change throughout the seasons. But each book will be a standalone, so that you don't have to rely on other books to learn more about what's going on. They'll all be a complete story from beginning to end. They'll have the exact same format. Your 6 coloring pages, your 2 activity sheets, 1 fact sheet. And all of those resources are freely copyable for all teachers, all parents, all educators. They are free to use at your leisure. Thank you so much for sitting with me today and learning more about this incredible book. I really appreciate you taking the time. Again, whether you are listening to this live or you come and find it later, may you have a blessed day. My last shout out in closing, as we end this live, is going to be to share with you that our YouTube channel is continuing to develop. We haven't gotten to post there recently, but Plant People Heal YouTube will be getting new content, so please keep your eye out for that. If you're interested in our video content, subscribe to the channel. That way you get notifications. Turn the little bell on. Follow our Plant People Heal page. You can join our Plant People Heal group. That's where we put a lot of tips. all of the kinds of things that you're going to learn in the back of this book about plants, there are some really great things in that group. How to make paper out of leaves, different ways that you can grow your garden, using pantyhose to store your old pots in, all kinds of things. Sometimes we put crafts in there for children. It's very family friendly. We focus on tips and tricks, different gardening techniques, mental health, creativity. The Plant People Heal group is kind of like the Plant People Heal living room. It's where we just come together, we share our wisdom about what works for us, fun things that we enjoy doing, and fun things that we think you might enjoy with your family too. So join us across platforms. We're now on X, which I didn't think was going to be possible. There's different content on X that you're going to find on Facebook and Instagram. We cross-share content from Facebook to Instagram, so you can join us and follow us there. You can follow us on X if you want. We're trying to get in as many places as possible so that we are available to you.
And leave a comment.
Feel free to leave a comment in this video. Let me know what you think. Fill out that form if you're interested in your PDF. You are running out of time. This is your last day, so take advantage of that. Tell me what you think in the comments. Please share this with your friends. Get it all over YouTube and get people talking about this incredible book. Thank you, blessings, and I will make another video later to talk about the different collaboration that I'm getting to do with William for his projects, because that is just as magical. Blessings, my friends.